I grabbed a pizza pan from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be using some Waverly chalk paint in the color crimson, and I'm just focusing on painting the outer edge of that pizza pan. I did 2 coats. You want to dry the first coat before going on to the second coat and allow that to dry. Then I'll be using some shelf liners that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using the splatter screen from Dollar Tree to trace it out because it fits perfectly inside of that pizza pan. So once you trace it out, go ahead and just cut that out. Even though the shelf liner had adhesive on the back, I wanted to make sure that it absolutely stuck on here for a long time. So I did end up applying some Mod Podge to my pizza pan and then just placed the shelf liner right on top. Make sure you smooth it out and there are no air bubbles. You want to allow that to completely dry, and then I went over it again with some more Mod Podge to seal and protect everything. I even went over the chalk paint to make sure that was sealed and protected. Then I grabbed some foam board from Dollar Tree, and I am using chalk to draw this out. Just in case you make a mistake, you could just wipe it off super easily. So all I did was just trace out almost like a teardrop for the body, a half a circle for the head, and then I cut it out using a sharp box cutter. And then you want to draw 2 hearts and cut that out as well. And then for the body, I painted it with Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster. Again, I did 2 coats, dry the first coat before going on to the second coat, allow that to dry. Grabbed some blue painter's tape so I could create some red stripes. And again, I'm just using that Waverly chalk paint in the color crimson. And I did 2 coats for the red. And then for the wings, I painted those with Waverly chalk paint in the color Ocean. Again, you want to do 2 coats, allow the first coat to dry before going on to the second coat, and then once that is completely covered, allow that to dry. I also painted the head with that same color blue. And don't forget to get the cut edge of these pieces as well. I then had this star stencil that I got off of Amazon, and I just placed those on top of my wings, and using a cut up Dollar Tree sponge and some Waverly chalk paint and the color plaster, put a small amount of the paint on my sponge and just lightly dabbed over that stencil. I also used some nautical rope on the pizza pan around the cut edge of that shelf liner just to cover that up. So I just used a generous amount of hot glue and just glued it all around. I cut a pipe cleaner in half and just kind of gave it a nice curl at the ends to create the bee's antenna. And then just glued those pieces on the back of the bee's head. And then I went around the edge of my bee with some antique wax just because I like that rusty look. But if you don't like that look, then you could totally skip this part. Now we could go ahead and assemble everything onto the pizza pan, find good placements for each part of the bee. Once you have that all situated, you could go ahead and hot glue the pieces onto that pizza pan. I only use hot glue for this, but if you're worried about leaving this outside, I highly recommend using some Dollar Tree Fix-All adhesive glue with a mixture of the hot glue to make sure it stays permanently on there and it doesn't fall apart. And then I just created a bow and I just glued that to the top of the pizza pan. And there you go, guys. I hope this inspires you to create your own in your own special way. If it did, please be sure to sprinkle the love. Thank you so much. And I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.